our body doesn't know the difference.
Yeah. So stop me, by the way, if I'm going too in depth in something.
Not at all.
But I do find this like a very interesting area, just because, like I said, I had anxiety problems. I continue to have anxiety problems.
Yeah. Well, me too.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not something that. I mean, it's a part of life. And a little bit of anxiety is good sometimes.
It's good sometimes.
Sure. I mean, I get like starting this podcast has been a very anxiety-producing feeling because it's we're really trying to put this out there, and even though the message is good, there's still a lot of people that are going to talk shit about it.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But I don't give a shit about those people, right? Because they're not the ones I'm talking to.
No. I guess I was just going to say that I kind of, we're talking about the amygdala and the fight or flight response. For me, that cued off similar memories of going into exams and just having like insane amounts of adrenaline coursing through my body, and then being like, why? Because in your brain's telling you like, okay, this is nothing to be worried about. It's an exam. The sun's gonna rise tomorrow. Right. I'm gonna walk out of this room, but you just can't stop your body from just feeling like you got hit by a lightning bolt.
Sure. Right? And this is the fucking problem, though, is that the amount of stress that students are under this day and age.
It is ridiculous.
And the little tools they're given to deal with it is just, it's way out of whack here. I mean, something's got to give. I understand that education's a business and everything, but health first.
Yeah.
And we're especially walking into these, the new technology where, like this last year, I've learned that the true key to happiness is when you can totally turn your mind off mentally and be in any present moment.
Okay.
That's how the monks do it. That's how everyone does it. That's what meditation is. When you sit there, you're trying to bring yourself back constantly to the present moment without letting the little voices in your head take you away.
So, I guess on the topic of anxiety and mental health, we talked about the sex coaching, and now we've been focusing kind of on the mental health aspect.
Yeah.
What were some of the tools that you used, like in your time after coming off the Bachelorette, when you realized you had all these, things that you wanted to get sorted out in your life?
Sure.
Like, what were the tools that you used? How did you go about it? Because it must have been a very intimidating thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was on an antidepressant. I think I was on Cipralex when I was on the Bachelorette, and that was something that I hid from them.
Right.
Really? Yeah. I don't think everyone does. I think that there are people, I know that there are people that are on them right now that are open, they talk to me about them.
Yeah. So,
whether or not they've admitted that to producers or casting directors, I don't know.
Right.
But I have a feeling that that's okay. I mean, it's something that they're kind of letting through a little. Maybe they'll just watch it a little more and monitor a little more if you are on something. But I was afraid that I was afraid that I wouldn't get cast if I let it known that I was on an anti-anxiety medication. So after that, obviously the medication I was taking and the amount of anxiety I was feeling still from everybody all of a sudden knew who I was. And I tried to act like it was cool and I was cool with it. But I'm really I've noticed I'm a little bit of an introvert actually. And as much as I seem like I like to be out there, I needed alcohol to do that. So
I see.
Even though I was on an anti-anxiety drug at the time, I was still out when I was at the bars compensating with alcohol. And then if I get too drunk, I just go to the washroom, do a line of blow with some friends, and then straighten me out for the night.
Right.
So I was really kind of like this. And then it wasn't until, I guess, I realized that I was kind of going overboard and in overdrive, sort of. It probably would have been the fall. When I first moved in here. Actually.
Okay, so this is after you've gotten off the Bachelorette.
Yeah, like after it had aired and everything, and I had kind of ridden that wave for a while, and then I was watching everyone else from the season kind of ride their waves, and it's kind of interesting because you see what other people are doing, and you're thinking like, well, should I be doing that, or what should I? Yeah. There's no guidebook to this, right?
And it's a very weird thing because, and this wasn't something that I kind of realized until I met you, but it's not like. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not like you're off the show and then you just go back to your life and it's like, okay, so this is my life, I'm ready to turn out. No, that's not how it happens. You get off the show and then you have all these people that are still talking about you and messaging you, and you have people that you talk to on the actual show who are in contact with you, and they've all got their individual plans. So it's not like you just get off the show and all of a sudden it ends, right?
No,
to an extent, but
I mean it's Yeah, it doesn't just end, for sure. There's always, and I mean, I got into some situations, obviously, after the show as well, that TMZ picked up. So, I mean, I was doing, and it's interesting because you start to experience this level of attention, And then even if it's negative attention that's coming at you, you grasp onto it because you kind of like, it's your... And I realized it was my ego that was doing that. Now I know what the alter ego is and your super ego and everything.
Right, all that Freudian stuff.
Yeah, but I had to sort of study it and see what it was that was trying to survive. It wasn't really me. It was the ego inside of me that wanted all that attention. But that's something that I try to get rid of every day.
Right.
Or at least see through.
Yeah. So you get off the show, and then you were talking about the medication you were on, and then but you also turned to other things too, right? Like you had this whole meditation thing, the Zen stuff. That
was after.
That was after?
Yeah, I mean, back in November is when like my roommate before you,
right?
He was he was doing the same kind of reckless behavior that I was.
And this was a big turning point for you. This story.
Huge turning point, absolutely. And so, even though, like, people always ask me, they're like, were you an alcoholic or a drug addict? And my answer to that question is, I never drank every day or did drugs every day. I didn't do drugs any time that I wasn't drunk.
Right.
And I didn't drink every day. But when I would drink and I would go out, I wouldn't really want the night to end. So there's a different kind of alcoholism there, I suppose. Right. But, deep underneath it all was the anxiety disorder that I really needed to deal with.
So do you feel that the heart of, like, all, like, the drinking and the drugs, that was more, to medicate and
that's self-medicating
for
100%.
The feelings, as opposed to, like, I want to feel like I'm... Because, there's a difference between where you're addicted to something because in every way it makes you physically feel. Yeah. And then, just to stop feeling bad or feel better.
Sure. Well, I mean, right now, it's been 15 months of not having a drink and not doing any kind of drug, whether it's an anti-anxiety pill or whether it's a line of Coke. Right. It's been 15 months. I don't crave any of those things anymore. Right. But it's taken time. I mean, the first little bit was definitely a struggle. I mean, just to make it, like, 3 months was a huge fucking...
I bet. Yeah, no, I have friends who, have tried to go 3 months.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, I know you say 15 months and then... It's funny hearing you describe it because you kind of say 15 months and then you move on. But it's a big thing. Like, there's so many people out there who, hear 15 months, I think, at least, and then they go, wow, 15 months? Like, that's a pretty big thing to do. Like, that takes some strength, some emotional strength to actually do that. Right?
But I don't even think about it anymore, man. Like, the thing is, I realized after spending... I recommend to everyone out there to spend 1 year sober, because as soon as you realize how fast that year goes by, what you can accomplish in that year... I mean, I've read more books than I ever have in my life this year. Yeah, this past year. Okay. I've gotten more certifications than I ever had. I mean, it's not like I got a university degree or anything, but I studied a lot, and I enjoy it now, which is something I never did before. But it also helped me. Everything that I read about was also very positive and very uplifting, and training your mind to think against what the world wants you to believe. So. Everybody's judging everyone constantly. Everybody's constantly nitpicking at things, complaining. It teaches you to sort of be grateful for what you have. Yeah. Sure, I still catch myself judging people and joking with people. I'm still the same guy to some extent, but I look at the world differently, and I don't let the same things bother me. But when you see that year and how quickly that passes, we're on this planet a very short amount of time. So why the fuck... the amount of days I wasted... laying in bed, hungover, sweaty, gross, it's just feeling sketchy. Yeah. And no offense if that's something that you enjoy doing, it's just not for me. I mean, there are people out there that are going to do that for their entire lives. Yeah. I would say maybe try what I'm saying, but, there's some people that just won't. Yeah. And honestly, I don't judge anyone that wants to do that and partake in that. If that's your thing, by all means. I just saw it totally rip my best buddy's life to shreds, literally, to the point where he, took his own life. And that was enough for me to see, like, holy shit, this isn't a fun joke anymore. This isn't something... Absolutely. This isn't a game. Right. This is really fucking with people's lives. Right.
Yeah, this is causing some big problems. Yeah. I mean, I guess the way I look at it is, I mean, you can't question the fact that alcohol and whatever substances you're taking have at least some effect on your longevity, right? Sure. Like, people who drink, like, you'd be amazed, like, how actually bad for your body alcohol is. Yeah. Sure. So, I drink still. I mean, I have friends who drink.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
man.
I mean, but it's one of those things where, okay, I'm going to have something to drink. I don't overdo it, but, it's one of those things that I just, you're going to sacrifice. You're going to give and take some places in your life. Maybe sure. I won't live to be 200 or 100. Dude,
I already think I knocked off a good 10, 15 years of my life. The way that I used to behave, man, fuck.
How much healthier did you feel, though, after, the first 3-4 months where you had no alcohol? Because I heard that's a big thing.
Yeah, I mean... It's tough to say. I mean, I felt good.
Yeah.
But I also overcompensated with other things. I mean, I was so focused on becoming strong from the inside out that I really didn't care what my exterior looked like. So I moved over into eating, didn't really care what I eat. I was like, I'm not drinking, I'll eat whatever I want. And I got out of shape. And, I'm still trying to recover from that time of being the fat guy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm bigger now, but at least there's some muscle showing through, right? So, I don't know. I mean, I felt good. I felt clear.
Mm-hmm.
But it's tough because, maybe for those people that didn't just lose a best friend 4 months ago, then you feel great, but there's still a lot of shit that you're dealing with. So, I don't even think about it anymore. I'm not saying I'll never drink again because one day when I get married, I'd love to have a glass of champagne and share some wine with my future wife, right? But at least I know now when to stop, and I think I've dealt with the anxiety enough that I don't need to overcompensate and indulge in alcohol to the extent that I did.
Right.
But for now, at this point, I mean, so many people have kind of reached out saying that they're inspired by what I've done. Thank you.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it's not about me anymore. It's about I can't have a drink because I want everyone else to sort of see what's possible.
I see.
It's kind of above me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I guess that's something you just have to decide on your own.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have.
Take it,
yeah. The only time I would the thing is I said to myself, as soon as there's need to celebrate, as soon as I have cause to celebrate, which there has been lots of reasons to this past year. Mm-hmm. But nothing to the extent where it's a huge life change, like a wedding day, or bringing another child into the world, or something along those lines, or making your $1 million in a year or something like that, right? And purchasing your own island. I mean, those are celebrations.
That's where you crack a bottle.
Yeah. I mean, I think a little bit differently now. I think on a larger scale.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting too, just to hear you talking that way, because a lot of people. I've heard it happen a lot of times where you'll have someone in the room say, "Oh no, I'm dry. Or, I don't drink anymore." And kind of the first thing that comes to mind is, okay, that guy's got an alcohol problem. And if he takes a glass of anything, it's going to be
game over.
Game over. Yeah. And he's going to spend the next week drinking himself stupid, right? Which, hey, that's some people. But it kind of seems like that's a stereotypical, idea of what it is to have, an alcohol problem.
Yeah.
And that's not the case for a lot of people. A lot of people have just stopped drinking or gone dry because, hey, they don't like it, how it makes them feel physically.
Yep.
They want to be healthier. Maybe they do have a bit of a problem, but it's not to the extent that, if I have one glass of white wine, I'm going to go crazy.
Sure, yeah.
So there's different levels of things, I guess.
I think that every mistake I've ever made in my life started with alcohol.
Oh, they drink.
Yeah, always. I don't think I've done any. I mean, obviously, I made mistakes as a kid, but I think that everything that has seriously been life altering, or could have been life altering, was under the influence of alcohol, which maybe had led to drug use, depending on how drunk I got. But
well, think about that too. I just thought that was interesting that you brought that up, because I was listening to someone recently who was talking about how going dry can actually improve your social skills.
Sure.
Because a lot of people, like you said you did during The Bachelor, you're feeling anxious, you want to talk to more people, but you got the anxiety, so, you drink, it's that crutch.
Well, I drank a lot during the first night on The Bachelorette. I did okay. The second night, I just went over the edge. And so I fucked myself with that. I think that had I not gotten so completely white girl wasted, is that the new term?
I think so.
Yeah. If I had not done that, I may have actually
gone further.
Yeah, and maybe I would have given it a little bit more of a shot.
Yeah.
But I think that because of the state I was in, and I think that I was a boy on that show. I think that over the last little while, I've only transitioned into a man, which is kind of unfortunate at 33, but better late than never,
Yeah, well, the thing is, everything happens in their own time. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned, is that you always, there's this idea, expectation, that society has, or you're married by this age, you do this by this age.
Sure.
And when you actually